developing story tops our news tonight. This, the latest skirmish in the increasingly volatile Occupy Vancouver protest. It happened shortly after 4 o'clock this afternoon as occupiers who lost in court Friday confronted police at the intersection of Robson and Howe Street. Good evening. Robson and Howe is where CTV's Mi-Jung Lee is right now. And Mi-Jung, what's happening?
Well, it is cold and nasty out here for one, Mike. I'm standing at the corner of Robson and Howe, and for about a couple hours now, there's been a handful of Occupy Vancouver protesters blocking the corner of Robson and Howe. So right now, no traffic is getting through on Robson between Howe and Hornby. Police are having to divert traffic around them. They are upset over an arrest that happened earlier this afternoon. An arrest they say police apparently got the wrong man.
Let him go! Let him go!
There were some tense moments as Occupy protesters watched this man being arrested today. Police held the man down after an apparent conversation he had with a firefighter. This sparked anger among the occupiers on a day they knew would be a big one.
Blocking the road! Hey, what are you pushing people for?
2 p.m. was when all the tents were supposed to be gone from the art gallery. City crews and occupiers were dismantling the encampment that was in place for 5 weeks. Earlier in the day, the mayor didn't have a price tag for Occupy, but was optimistic things would go smoothly.
We're not anticipating violence or any problems because people on the site have been cooperative, and I think there's a sense that it's time for this protest to shift gears.
This is what democracy looks like!
Shifting gears meant packing up and going for a walk around the block. Occupiers set up at the courthouse, provincial land. They say they are taking it to the next level.
There are a lot of people that don't have homes here, so it seems like a physical occupation makes sense. These are the people that are suffering the most from socioeconomic inequality. So we needed to find a place for these people to stay, so we decided to continue it on. This movement could go any direction, and I'm sure it will, and it will go on for years and years, but this was the logical next step at this point.
So how long do you want to stay here?
Well, as long as I can.
All right, Mi-Jung, the camp has moved from the art gallery to the courthouse. What about the people sitting in that intersection? Any indication they're going to move?
Well, some have told me they will move when their friend, who was arrested earlier this afternoon, will be released. And he is supposed to be released very shortly. Apparently no charges against him. So some say they're going to move then, but a couple of the other protesters said they're staying put. It could be hours. So it's very unpredictable. It's very fluid, much like this movement. I just want to direct your attention to where the Occupy camp has set up now. There's about 20 to 30 tents that have moved underneath that concrete overhang. I'm sure Arthur Erickson never imagined that there'd be tents set up under the concrete overhang, but that is actually providing shelter, a dry space for the protesters who are staying here. Now, this is provincial land that we're standing on, this courthouse, and we've got to call into the province, the Attorney General, to find out what are they going to do? How are they going to deal with this? I mean, it's very close to the entrance to the courthouse. It's also close to the entrance to the Asia Pacific Business Foundation. So they've taken up a big space right here. So we still have not heard from the province how they're going to handle it. I talked to the city and they said, well, you know, now it's provincial land. The onus is on the province to take some action. But these protesters say this Occupy movement is just at the beginning. It's at the beginning. It could go on for months. It could go on for years. And they feel that this is the next natural progression to bring it to the next level. First it was city property, now we're talking about provincial property. And they've set up a tent. Jim, maybe you can just show the tents right here. The difference right now, though, at the art gallery, they had power. Right now, they've got no power. They've got no lights. But they're planning to go ahead with their nightly General Assembly meetings, which they had at the art gallery. So we'll have to find out how long this encampment will be allowed to stay. Mike?
All right, we'll keep following this story tonight. Thanks very much, Mi-Jung.